minutes. Didn't somebody do that for the new Avatar movie? I can't imagine holding my breath for 7 minutes. All right, next question. When you begin designing a new region, do you start with a story, a visual idea, or something else entirely? Abner, do you want to weigh in on this one?
Sure. As far as like, the first thing I think we look at is, okay, what is the purpose of what we're doing? Because we have to make it functional. It's going to serve a purpose. Is this, a region that's supposed to be designed for like a new resident experience? Is this a Linden Homes region? Is this an SLB region? And kind of work the framework of it so that it is functional first, and then we'll start talking about ideas for, how is it going to look? How is this going to, first we deal with the function, and then we'll look at the form, and it's an entire process involved in that, just so that the form and the function all work together.
All right.
Does that answer the question?
It does answer
Okay.
the question. But I'm going to follow up with another question directed to you because I know that you have something to say about this.
Okay.
Which resident created build, region, or community has inspired, well, the question is your work the most. I don't want to focus on the most. What communities or builds out there have inspired you? And I know that there was one in particular that inspired something at the birthday.
Yeah, I know what you're getting at, and that's exactly the one I was going to mention. The question is basically, what have I seen out there that has really kind of wowed me? And one that I always go back to is, and full disclosure, I do not know the person who created this. I've never talked to them. I don't know anything other than what I've seen of their work, and that is a place in Second Life called Mother Road, which is, it's only 3 regions. Just it impressed me. I was like, only working with 3 regions, and everything, and the way that it was, the way that he did it, or she, I don't know, the way that they did it, and just to get the effect of being in the middle of a vast desert that just goes on forever, and it's quite impressive to me. And so I kind of have to give a tip of my hat to that. If that's what I was going for, that's what I would do. And I kind of looked at that a little bit to try to get inspiration for our adult stage that we did here. I couldn't do it the same way. I wish I could. It's just, the technical difficulties of trying to do something that is designed to be on 3 standalone regions, and trying to import that to something that's going to be next to other regions like the Shop and Hop, just it wouldn't work. But I looked at things like that for like inspiration, and just looking at it going, okay, how did they do this, and what can I take from that to kind of inspire my technique, or how I'm trying to solve a similar problem.
I would like to weigh in on this question as well. There are a couple of events that really inspire me. Second Life Birthday is one of them. I am just amazed at the exhibits that people bring every year. Some of them are very simple. Some of them are incredibly elaborate. There are ones that are artistic. There are ones that are more educational, but the just overall creativity and thought and enthusiasm that goes into the design of all the exhibits is really very inspiring to me. The other event that that really inspires me and is the Fantasy Fair. I think that has an incredible community and likewise some absolutely stunning regions accumulated every year. It's a real adventure to explore that. Izzy, I know that you wanted to say something.
Who, me? Well, with almost 20 years of experience as a Linden, I've definitely seen a tremendous amount of variety in Second Life. I've seen amazing builds, feats of creativity, wonderful recreations. It's probably nearly impossible to pick any single build if I had to. Whenever I need a reset or a breather, I'll go around like the exhibits in SLB or the art exhibits in SLEA, or just driving around the mainland to see all the wondrous things that are built, and it kind of revitalizes and re-inspires me. It's probably impossible to pick a specific one, but I'm going to break with convention and pick two. First, on attention to detail, I once came across a recreation of a Wendy's restaurant on the mainland, and it was so intense with the level of detail down to the fry machine and the soda fountain and everything. It was really, really inspiring. It was just a Wendy's restaurant, but it had so much fine detail. I really, really enjoyed it. On the completely other end of the spectrum, I was brought to an educational region where a student who was building within Second Life had created their rendition of the Aurora Borealis so that people could experience the majesty and awe of this phenomenon for people that otherwise wouldn't get to experience it in their first lives. And I just thought that was an amazing thing to do. So those would be my top two that come off the top of my head.
So basically what you're saying is that you were inspired to eat hamburgers under the northern lights.
Absolutely perfect summation. Now I got to go book a trip.
Yes, for all of us. And Wendy's. Get us all hamburgers as well. If you could redesign one area of mainland from scratch, what would you choose and why? Alada, we haven't heard from you yet. Do you have a part of mainland that you would redesign?
Yeah, actually, I used to live in mainland for a while in my first years as a resident. And I used to live very close to the train station in mainland. And I would love to redesign the whole thing. Because I think we could expand it into completely different dimensions now with it, adapt it to how people do Second Life now, that it's not just with trains or the pod things only. So I think I will expand it so it will be for cars and other stuff, and rest your things and eat here like a fake eating station. I don't know, I will add
maybe
so
our
many things.
Wendy's restaurant could come.
Exactly. and we put a fake easy that is eating burgers.
Only if I get the Northern Lights too.
Right.
I picked on Alada, but it's Abner, Bree, if any of you have a thought about mainland that you'd like to share.
I don't think that there's anything in particular that I would want to redo, because mainland is mainland. It's part of me growing up in Second Life. It's yes, maybe some road work or little things, but I would not touch anything personally.
Well, I can certainly understand that, because it's what the residents have created. So how could we possibly redesign that? Go ahead, Abner.
Yeah, I was gonna. I hadn't really thought about this, but it just kind of came to me. If there was anything I could like go back in time and redo, it would be some of the regions on the mainland that were supposed to have roads go through them that for one reason or another never did. Or a lot of the areas on the edges of the continents that should have had a protected strip of land so people could go around it on their boats, and for whatever reason they never did. If there was one thing I could go back in time and kind of change, it would be to fix those things.
All right. Well, I'm making a list here, so when we all have nothing to do, maybe we'll go back to this list. Izzy, I think that you had something.
Absolutely. So for me, it's all about, especially since we're talking about the mainland, obviously it's resident front focus, but I also really love when we're collaborative with our residents. So I would kind of think up mini Bay City type oasis type things where we would just take small little areas that we build out a small portion of the new community there that residents can then go ahead and get, those parcels like in Bay City, but then allow the residents to expand from there. So we kind of plant a little seed and then let things go from there.
Well, and I know that Bay City, it's a very strong community, and it really has. It from the tiny seed, it has become a huge oak from the acorn, right?
Exactly.
Brett,
I'd love to see the more of that grow.
yes, that would be fun. Brett, did you have something that you wanted to share?
Maybe just something I hinted at, I think it was yesterday. We're working on something. It's not out yet, obviously. It's called the Community Priorities Program. And it's just the idea of giving a stronger voice to the community to basically say, hey, did you know about this? Or why don't you work on that? So in terms of us making decisions about allocating some time and resources to fixing things, it could be mainland improvements, preservation efforts, infrastructure projects, really anything. That's something that I'm really excited to see come to light so that it will give people a voice in helping us direct some of our direction on resources. So that's coming soon.
All right. What do you think makes a great Linden home community beyond just the homes themselves? I am going to direct this to Abner.
Let's see. What makes? Let's see. What makes? Can you read it again?
Yes. What makes a great Linden home community beyond just the homes themselves? So what makes the community part of it?
Oh, I think. Well, I think. You said beyond the houses themselves, and I think that is what makes it is everything that is beyond the houses themselves. The fact that everything is in a contiguous sort of arrangement, where the world is more than just your parcel or the four square sides of your parcel lines. There is an outside to your house, and you're kind of encouraged to interact outside of your little stamp of where you live, and that gets people talking, and that's what brings in the community. And we have a lot of people in Bellis area, in the Linden Homes area, where they are open to people coming and waving as they drive by, or hi, or even speak to their neighbors. And there's a whole community of people who are talking with each other and sharing design ideas. And hey, where can I find this? Oh, you have a really I like how you did your garden. Where did you find those things? Can you give me a landmark? And I think that's what brings in the community is just people looking outside of their own little immediate view. And I think that's really what fosters that.
Yes, I agree. And I know that Izzy has a very similar feeling about this.
Well, I would, if one portion of the question wasn't there, I probably would reply just like Abner did. I am so proud of the Linden homes that we've created. They're just, I love the diversity. I love the creativity. I love seeing what I see pop up on the marketplace for how residents, modify things and stuff like that. It's just a really, really great start to the new user life and existing. I mean, there are plenty of really long-term residents that still utilize their Linden homes, which to me speaks to the value of them. But with the caveat of the question saying beyond just the homes themselves, I think there really is only one answer to the question, in my opinion, and that's residents. They're the heart of any community in Second Life. While we can build great buildings, provide a wonderful infrastructure, beautiful houses, it takes the residents to add life and turn it into a community. Now, that might be a really sappy answer, but I really and honestly feel that way.
Well, it's not sappy, it's true. So, if it is sappy, it's still true. I think that is absolutely, the residents are the ones that breathe the life into the beautiful regions that are built by the LDPW SL Studios.
Hear, hear.
All right, Izzy, this one is again for you. How do you balance nostalgia and innovation when designing for a platform with more than 20 years of history?
Well, at least you give me the simple questions. This is always in the forefront of our minds. While we strive to innovate and bring new and interesting options to our residents of Second Life, we also want to honor our history and our traditions. So it's kind of a delicate balance to honor the past while building for the future. I believe that we accomplish this with, new innovations and themes like the Linden Homes themes, where we bring new and exciting homes to our users, but also balance that with a plethora of additional options like previous home builds, mainland build-up areas like Bay City, as well as the total freedom that is found from having a private island. So the opportunities brought on even more options, and that helps put our residents in control of their future, whether they want to do a ready to move in Linden home, mainland where they can go ahead and build with fairly freedom, but there's still certain controls, or a private island where the sky's the limit.
All right. Well, we're going to move on to a new topic now, Belisaria and mainland evolution. And most of these are going to be for you, Izzy, because they are about Linden homes. First question is, many residents would like to see more Premium Plus homes available. Are there plans to expand housing inventory or create additional opportunities for Premium Plus members?
So we're always adding additional Premium Plus homes to the available join flow. We strive to always make at least some Premium Plus homes available, but of course we don't want to create a whole bunch of regions that just end up sitting there, so we have to be kind of conscious of the balance.
All right, so if you see that there is a big desire for a certain theme and there aren't any homes available, then you'd roll out a few more homes so that people would be able to get into that theme.
Exactly, and we usually rotate it around. So one day we might release some of this theme, and then once that peters out and we need more, we might go to a different theme just to kind of round robin it.
Okay. Many residents are curious about the long-awaited completion of the Mediterranean continent. Can you share any updates on those plans?
Well, that's kind of like what I was saying before. We expand existing areas based on use and need. So as an existing themes available homes are acquired, we then add more to maintain some availability. But we don't want to just finish an entire area that then has a whole bunch of partially empty regions, because that, of course, has a fiscal cost that would then have to be shared by everybody. So it's a give and take and balance that we have to kind of keep an eye on.
Okay. So the short answer to that is just keep waiting. It'll be there eventually.
There you go. And if you want one in a particular area, get your friends to take the ones that are currently existing so we have a reason to put out more. There.
There you go. Copperfield Heights has proven extremely popular. Are there plans for additional regions, and might we see more 2048 parcels offered in future releases?
Absolutely. We try to keep some Copperfield Heights available for our residents. It's the newest theme, but we also have our other existing Premium Plus themes. So like I said before, we try to kind of rotate it a bit, but we will circle back, once we go through the other themes and make sure people that want them get a chance, we will add more Copperfield Heights too. And personally, it is one of the themes that I'm the most proud of, because I just love the idea of having Plus, Premium, and Premium Plus parcels out there, so everybody's kind of in the community together.
All right. Now we're going to switch our focus to mainland. And Derek, I'm going to direct this to you first. What role does mainland play in the future of Second Life? And are there plans for broader improvements such as terrain, texture updates, infrastructure upgrades, road expansions, or other modernization efforts?
Yeah, so if you've had a keen eye on mainland lately, you may have already noticed some things are starting to bloom. The transitioning happening in Gata 1, the expansion of Zendra, those aren't isolated projects. I hope that people are taking these as signals of a broader, renewed focus on mainland as a living and evolving part of Second Life. And honestly, there's more in the pipeline that we're not quite ready to talk about yet. But I think residents are going to be excited when we can. The answer to the question directly is yes, mainland is absolutely something we're putting more intentional focus on going forward. That includes goals of terrain texture updates, environment settings, the general look and feel of the world. On the infrastructure side, of course, roads, waterways, that kind of thing. We're always looking for opportunities. Our approach there tends to be pretty deliberate. We take suggestions if they're submitted as feedback, or we look for areas where that infrastructure is genuinely lacking, where we have the available land to actually make and do something meaningful and target it. We're not going to build a road to nowhere, but where the real opportunity exists and the need is clear, we want to move on it. So basically, yes, the short version is the mainland has a future, and we're definitely investing in it.
Thank you. Brett, do you have anything to add?
Very quickly, just that, yes, mainland's important. And as I mentioned earlier with the Community Priorities Program in progress, that there's going to be more opportunities for people to actually weigh in where they want us to put our focus. So I'm really looking forward to see how people vote with their voice. And that's going to obviously, in fact, impact some of the mainland work as well.
Izzy?
I'm going to pretty much ditto what Derek said. I mean, mainland's a critical part of the tradition of Second Life. It's a place where residents are only limited by their creativity. And I don't see that going away anytime soon. I do think that there's a lot that we can do to assist in the process with additional infrastructure and such, like what Derek said. So I'm really excited for the future of the mainland.
Right. Derek, this question is for you again about mainland. Many mainland residents have neighboring parcels that have been abandoned for years by owners who haven't logged in for a decade or more. Can you explain how Linden Lab approaches these situations and whether there are any discussions about addressing long-term inactive land ownership?
Yeah, sure. So this is something that comes up from time to time, and I do think it's worth being clear about why this is actually a little more nuanced than it might appear at first glance. Uh, the thing is, these parcels aren't necessarily abandoned in the way that we might think of the word. In virtually all of these cases, these residents are still paying tier. Their accounts may be inactive and not logging in world, but their land fees are being paid and covered. That creates a real obligation on our end. When someone steps away from Second Life, whether it's a month, 2 months, a year, or even a decade, they have a reasonable expectation that when they come back, their land is going to be exactly as they left it. Their build, their objects, their little corner of the mainland, that trust is something we take pretty seriously. So while I completely understand, some people may be frustrated with neighbors who, may be dealing with an eyesore or a neglected parcel next door, we have to be really thoughtful about how we balance that, maybe against the rights of someone who is still a paying customer for all intents and purposes. That said, I won't pretend that this is a solved problem and that's the end of this. However, I do think it deserves ongoing conversation. We want the mainland to feel vibrant and alive, and long-term vacancy does work against that. So yeah, it's something to to be aware of, that we're going to continue to consider and continue to think about.
All right, thank you.